Hello, and welcome to Mr. Vin TV, your go-to channel for relationship advice and guidance. Here, we're all about fostering understanding, harmony, and love in your relationships. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches every couple: conflict resolution. It's not about avoiding conflict, but mastering the art of resolving it effectively. So whether you're just starting out or have been together for a while, this is for you. Stick around to learn more about effective ways to achieve conflict resolution in relationships. First, it's important to understand what conflict is. Conflict is like the elephant in the room that no one wants to acknowledge, yet its presence is felt by all. It's a disagreement or clash of ideas, values, or interests. In relationships, this could range from minor disagreements over meal choices to significant conflicts about financial decisions or parenting styles. Conflict, in essence, is a natural part of human interaction. It arises out of differences, and since no two individuals are identical, differences are inevitable. In relationships, it's not the absence of conflict that signifies harmony, but how effectively it's managed. But why does conflict occur? It often stems from unmet needs, unfulfilled expectations, or unresolved issues. It could be as simple as feeling unheard, or as complex as feeling unappreciated. When these feelings aren't addressed, they can escalate into conflicts, creating a chasm between individuals. Now, let's talk about the effects of conflict. It's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, if managed properly, it can lead to growth, deeper understanding, and stronger bonds. It can serve as a catalyst for change and inspire creative problem solving. On the other hand, if left unresolved, conflict can cause emotional distress, breed resentment, and erode the foundation of relationships. It can create an environment of hostility, mistrust, and unhappiness. It's like a weed that, if not uprooted, can take over the garden of your relationship. Understanding conflict is not just about recognizing its existence. It's about acknowledging its potential, both destructive and constructive. It's about understanding that conflict is not necessarily a problem, but an opportunity for improvement, an invitation for dialogue, and a catalyst for growth. Remember, every relationship has its share of conflict. It's part of the journey. The key is not to avoid it, but to navigate through it with understanding, patience, and respect. Now that we understand what conflict is, let's delve into the steps to effectively resolve them. Step 1 in conflict resolution is identifying the problem. It's like being a detective in your own relationship, searching for clues to solve a mystery. You see, conflicts are often like icebergs. What we see on the surface is just a fraction of the real issue that lurks beneath. The squabble over who forgot to take out the trash might actually be about feeling unappreciated or overlooked. So, it's crucial to dig deeper, to peel back the layers of the argument until we reach the core issue. Only by understanding the real problem can we hope to find a resolution. It requires open-mindedness and the courage to face possibly uncomfortable truths. But remember, it's not about finger-pointing or blame. It's about understanding each other better, improving communication, and ultimately strengthening the relationship. So we must approach this step with empathy and patience. Once the problem is identified, we move on to the next step. Step 2 is active listening. Now you might be thinking, I listen all the time. Isn't that enough? Well, not quite. Active listening goes beyond just hearing the words that are spoken. It's about understanding the complete message being communicated and demonstrating that understanding back to the speaker. Picture this. You're in the middle of a heated discussion and your partner says something that triggers an emotional response. Instead of reacting immediately, you take a moment to process what they've said. You make sure you've understood their point of view, and then you respond in a way that shows you've heard them. That's active listening. The beauty of active listening is that it makes the speaker feel valued. They know they're being heard and their feelings are being acknowledged. This can help diffuse tension and foster a more open, honest dialogue. So, how do you practice active listening? Well, it starts with patience. Allow the other person to speak without interruptions. Show empathy and avoid judgment. Paraphrase what they've said to ensure you've got it right. Ask questions if you need more clarification. And most importantly, be present. Put away distractions and focus on the conversation at hand. Remember, it's not about winning an argument, it's about understanding each other's perspectives. Active listening isn't easy, it takes practice, but the rewards are immense. It can help you navigate through conflicts more effectively and ultimately strengthen your relationship. Active listening can open doors to understanding and compromise. Step 3 involves finding a solution that works for both parties. Now that we've identified the problem and listened actively to each other's perspectives, it's time to brainstorm solutions. Brainstorming is not about immediately deciding on a solution, but about coming up with as many ideas as possible. It's about creativity and open-mindedness. Remember, there are no wrong answers in brainstorming. While brainstorming, it's crucial to maintain a non-judgmental atmosphere. Each person's ideas should be heard and considered equally. This encourages open communication and fosters a safe space for all ideas, no matter how outside the box they may seem. After brainstorming, it's time to move on to the next phase, evaluating the proposed solutions. This is where compromise comes into play. Compromise doesn't mean that one party gives up everything for the other. Rather, it's about finding a middle ground where both parties feel their needs and wants are being addressed. Consider the pros and cons of each solution and how they align with your shared goals and values. It's important to be realistic about what you can and cannot change. Be flexible and willing to adjust your expectations. Once you've agreed on a solution, make sure both parties feel satisfied with the decision. Satisfaction doesn't necessarily mean that the solution is perfect for both parties. It simply means that both parties can live with the solution and feel that their voices have been heard. It's about fairness, respect, and mutual understanding. Remember, conflict resolution isn't about winning or losing. It's about understanding and meeting each other's needs to the best of your abilities. It's about growing together and learning how to navigate through conflicts in a healthy and constructive way. Finding a solution may not always be easy, but it's an essential step towards resolving conflicts. It requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to compromise. But when done correctly, it can lead to a stronger, healthier, and more satisfying relationship. Finding a mutually satisfying solution can help strengthen your relationship and prevent future conflicts. The final step is implementing the solution and following up. Now that we've identified the problem, listened actively, and found a solution, it's time to put that solution into action. This is where the real work begins. It's not enough to just agree on a solution. You need to actively implement it. This could mean changing your behavior, altering your routines, or even adjusting your perspective. Whatever the case, it's crucial to do your part in making the solution work. But how do you monitor the effectiveness of the solution? It's simple: communication. Keep the lines of communication open. Regularly check in with your partner to see how things are going. Are the changes you've made having a positive impact? Is the conflict being resolved, or are there still issues to address? These check-ins will help you gauge the effectiveness of your solution and make any necessary adjustments. The final part of this step is the follow-up. Once you've implemented the solution and seen some improvement, it's important to follow up to ensure the conflict has been fully resolved. This isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a continuous process of improvement and adjustment. Conflict resolution isn't a quick fix. It's a journey. It's about growth, understanding, and compromise. It's about working together to find a solution that benefits both parties. Remember, conflict resolution is a process that requires patience, understanding, and commitment. So to recap, we've journeyed through a 4-step process to aid conflict resolution in relationships. We began by identifying the problem, a crucial step that allows us to understand what we're dealing with. It's about acknowledging the elephant in the room, giving it a name, and accepting that it needs to be addressed. We then moved into the realm of active listening. This isn't just about hearing words, but truly understanding the meaning behind them. It's about giving your partner the space to express themselves and validating their feelings. Remember, you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but it's essential to show that you respect their viewpoint. Next, we delved into finding a solution. This is where you both become architects of your relationship, designing a plan of action to resolve the conflict. It's about brainstorming ideas, negotiating, and agreeing on a course that works for both parties. Lastly, we talked about implementing and following up. This final step is about action and accountability. It's one thing to agree on a solution, but it's another to actually carry it out. Following up ensures that the solution is working and adjustments can be made if necessary. Remember, conflict is a natural part of any relationship, but with these steps, it can be managed effectively and even lead to growth and deeper understanding between you and your partner. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Vin TV for more relationship advice and guidance.